My name is Chukwebuka, and we're reaching you live from the Advent Cable Network studio here in the capital city of Abuja. And we're ready to discuss normal Thursday edition of Sports Stories. But before we do that, we would like you to know that you can join this story, you can join this conversation by calling the number showing on your screen or sending your comment via our various social media handle. I'm glad to announce to you that I won't be doing all the discussion alone today. I have a couple of good, strong, able men with me here in the studio this morning, whom I believe with me will be able to sail through today's storm of difficulties and maybe challenging stories. But remember, we're here for you, and this story are not to scare you but to give you a form of enlightenment so that you know what's happening around you and know how to prepare ahead. All right, to do the discussions here with me this morning are my two co-anchors. Bolu, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Evoka. It's nice to be here once again to be one of the
All right.
co-anchors for this morning.
All right, Bolu. I know you have a lot. You're excited.
Positive, yeah, I'm positive about that, so it's fine.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Godwin.
All right. Very good morning to you, Ebuka, and also very good morning to you, Mr. Bulu Atife. It's a pleasure having you both on set this morning.
Godwin, you're smiling. Is it because of the raise in the Nigerian budget?
All right. I think Nigeria apart, it is my nature to always give this positive look or outlook to everything there is in life. And for me, a whole lot of issues, and most especially because today is Thursday and it is always sports special.
Wow, that's beautiful. All right, viewers, we'll be having joining us all the way from Delta State, Comrade Abraham Suku. Comrade Abraham Suku will be joining us on the show this morning. And we also have joining us on the show Dr. Edisiri Izu. And then we'll have Mr. Raphael Oja Okomo equally joining us virtually on today's show. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Good morning. All right, so before we continue, yeah, Mr. Raphael, good morning and welcome to the show.
All right, viewers, is that time in the show where we discuss everything that has to do with sports, and we believe that you are staying right there to do this with us. And just to begin, we would be taking the Punch Sport Extra this morning, and it is leading with a whole lot of a catchy story. And like we always say, a whole lot to discuss in this segment. Go get yourself a copy of the Punch Sport Extra to follow through with us and also join us in the discussion segment of sport this morning. All right, we have the very bold picture story there, one of our own, I must say, and that is a picture of Victor Osimhen, who says promise kept. And then the kickers there say how Osimhen defied Napoli's clause, snub January offer for gala stay. Then we also have Fontaine knocks Chelsea for missing out on Nigerian. And then we have this also, and one of the best in the world of sport, the CR7. It says he clocks 40 years. And this can be seen on page 8. On behalf of us here, we want to say to that goat today, a happy birthday to you. You've done well, and a whole lot of persons will celebrate you. And we also, from the decks of ACNN Sports Special, also join our voice to celebrate you, CR7, in person of Cristiano Ronaldo there. And then on page 2, we have Joshua Camp dismisses Bancole's fight claim. This can be seen on pages 2. And then on page 7, we have why Chukwueze forehand moves collapse. This is a special report. And then on page 7, we also have Chile gets Okoye's boost ahead of World Cup qualifier. And then just above the Punch masthead there, we have Bill by the side, it says here Nacho opens to Sevilla return. And then also on pages 5, we have Ferdinand urge Amorim to give Oba, a trial. Also on pages 5, we have Arsenal. City banter good for football. Right, Philip. And then lastly on that, we have on pages 4, Liverpool making huge Salah mistake. And then from the world of golf, we have one of the golfing legend in person of Tiger Woods pays tribute to who he described as his biggest fan. This biggest fan happens to be his beloved mother. We pray and send our heartfelt condolence to the Woods family there, and this can be seen on pages 2. And also on pages 2 also we have Halep retires from tennis. All right, viewers, this is the much on the front page of the Punch Sport Extra for you this morning, and I will be handing over to my uncle to take.
All right, thank you, Mr. Godwin. Viewers, remember you can join the conversation by calling the number showing on your screen, or equally sending your comment via our various social media handles now showing on your screen. Please remember that I'm not here alone. I'm here in the studio with Mr. Bolu. I'm also here with Mr. Godwin, and I have virtually Comrade Abraham Soko, a sports analyst all the way from Delta State. I equally have my favorite guest that used to be here in the studio, but he's now joining us virtually, Mr. Raphael Ojaokomo, a sports commentator. And then we have Dr. Edisiri Izu also joining us virtually. And gentlemen, please, let's talk sports. We now want to talk about, let's start from the home base, and then we now move on to the international world. And now let's talk about our under 17. And we now talk to you that we now want to let you know that our under 17 hasn't qualified for the AFCON under 17 2025 AFCON competition. So let's now hear from Comrade Abraham Soko. Comrade, tell us what's the updates with under 17 team. They haven't qualified for the under 17 African Cup of Nations, and we're worried. Is it that we're struggling with the Super Eagles and equally struggling with the under 17 team?
That happens to be the case. When I actually saw that report, I was really dumbfounded. I was like, okay, we have a problem with our Super Eagles, and we're having a problem with our under 17 Golden Eaglets. So it is a sad one. I believe that they have to actually sit up and do better. I think on the show, one of our anchors came and he mentioned that when it comes to our age grade Super Eagles, both the male and the team, a Nigerian team, both the male and the female, they have never had challenges. For instance, most of our established stars today, they actually went through the rank. The likes of Mikel Obi, the likes of Victor Osimhen, they actually went through the under 17 through the ranks to become established the way that they are today. So if we're actually struggling at that level, it's a really, really sad one for the country. I feel really disappointed. I felt really disappointed when I read that report. And I believe there's need for us to actually go back to do our homework so that going into the future, we'll be able to go back to the golden age of when Nigeria were able to produce stars from a very, very, very young level. And it's a really, really sad one for me, I must confess, Mr. Ebuka. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Comrade Abraham. So, Dr. Disri, do you agree with what Comrade Abraham has said concerning under 17 Super Falcons, Eaglets, Super Eaglets qualification for the AFCON 2025 competition?
I agree. We have a choice. We have to agree. The same we are yet to qualify. We are yet to qualify. Doesn't mean we will not qualify.
Yeah.
It just means that as of this stage, we have not qualified. So we are going to just do what we are very good at, which is prayers. And thank God, this is a Christian channel, so you guys can join us to pray.
Shots fired.
God will do it, and then we pray. So let us keep praying. and not do the right thing. Let's just bank on prayers and calculation. We are good at mathematics too, so we'll start calculating and permutating. But God will do it. He always does. God loves Nigeria, so He'll do it. He will do it. We'll qualify. We'll qualify. Don't worry. We'll qualify.
Yeah, so what God, nothing is impossible with God, and everything that can be done can only be done with God. So I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All right, so back to here in the studio, my co-anchor Bolu. I just to get your own view. I understand that you are a strong man of faith. Do you think by faith we will qualify for the AFCON under 17?
Well, like you said, maybe a strong man of faith, but the Bible says faith without work is there. So, yeah, we have faith that will qualify, but let the young lads, the golden eaglets, let them get on the pitch and do the working. Thank you.
All right, Volu, I hear you loud and clear there. But there's one short thing. He who does not plan to pass has already planned his or herself to fail. I think that is where we are yet. If at this present time we are yet to qualify, I, like Dr. Desiree said, we should keep praying. So we'll keep praying, but I doubt if prayer would get us to that spot. What I want to say is that we get our acts together and do the needful in a time like this. Bolu.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. I want us to talk specifically about something this morning about CAF. One trending story that caught my attention, it says CAF to host Champions League Confederation Cup quarterfinal draw in Qatar. We have one very, how will I put it now?
It's Qatar African. Is it African?
Apparently, that was why I said this caught my attention. What exactly are we looking for in Qatar to do what is called Confederation of African Football draws for the CHAN and everything? You're talking about taking it from, so we don't have Joburg is there, Marrakesh is there, Morocco, Mauritius is there, Madagascar is there,
Cape
Lagos
Verde.
is there, Cape Verde, and the best place we found is Qatar. This attitude of wastage, I think it's not just in Nigeria, it's an African thing. It's an African. It has been. It's in our blood to waste resources, because you need to know that for everybody that will be flying from the from the CAF as an association, they will spend money. Extra coach will be spent. They will go and enrich the economy of Qatar. The hotel they will stay, they would pay money. It's not free. It's not as if they are going there to go and stay under the bridge. Are you getting it? So why are we still on this wastage?
Yeah. So before I answer, I want to add to your question, or I want to give you an information that the Qatarians have a standing partnership with CAF.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
it's like couple of moments ago we talked about how the US is sending medical support and all those.
Okay.
So the Qatarians have a standing partnership with the Confederation of African Football. So they probably the aids, the support they are giving to Africa now say, okay, let's come. The door is open. Come to Doha, the capital of Qatar, and we'll be able to help you arrange for whatsoever you want to do. And you now probably have a more secured and more designated place for these draws.
All right. Mine is I wouldn't just want to give an answer, but rather bring in the likes of Dr. Desiree to give a clear insight on this, because I really want to get his perspective. And Dr. Desiree, if you can hear me clearly, because one thing that is yet to be looked at here is when the game of football is played, wherever it is played, it is assumed that there's this glory that comes to a particular continent. And we have the likes of CAF clearly taking this outside the continental shore. So what then would be your take on this?
Okay, thank you. I've got it now. There are just like Comrade Soko will always say, there are always two perspectives to it. But the number one, I'm not very good at maths. I think that's is it LCM they call it, or HCF. The common denominator is that it boils down to money. Nobody enjoys taking his property outside, but they say he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And we are seeing that the same thing has been done in Italy, it's been done in Spain, where the Super Cup It's now being played in sometimes in Saudi, sometimes in Japan, and some other countries that are outside Spain, for example, for Spanish Super Cup, or Italy for the Italian Super Cup. In fact, because of the economic factor, they had to expand the Super Cup. Traditionally, it was the winner of the Copa del Rey in Spain, that's the Spanish Cup, versus the winner of the La Liga. Same thing for Italian Serie A, the winner of the league versus the winner of the cup. But when push came to shove, when the people funding the sponsorship, the tournament said, you know what, we'll take it to Qatar, and then we'll make it a top 4 tournament of the first, the winner of the league versus, and then the runner-up in the league, as well as the 2 teams that played in the final of the cup. It became 4. And if you see that's what's happening in Spain and Italy, as we speak, there are even talks going on to hold some English Premier League games in the United States of America, which is outside Europe, not even just of England or Britain. And even Spain held that same discussion as to holding their, what's it called, some league games in the US. We also know that in the preseason tournaments, the EPL top clubs go to the US and hold a mini Premier League tournament there just to exploit the value. Some players are not happy because of the time zone difference. Some even go to Asian continents to do that. My point is, it's not, in as much as we might look at it from the moral or geographical perspectives, we should also understand that football is business. And so if Africa wants to join the league of what other people are doing, to maximize the economic benefits, for me, it gives us, it also shows that there is interest in the African game. You can see our prize money for our CAF Champions League and CAF Community has also gone up. Where is this money coming from? It's not from Alaji Bringi, it's from some of all these sponsorships. So for now, it's just a draw. So let us hope that a day will not come where they will now even carry the tournament itself, not just the draw now, outside to Qatar. So if it's the draw and if it's for the economic benefits, then again, who are we to complain? Let the money come and let our clubs get more prize money. But the summary is that it is purely economic, and in times when it comes to money, sometimes morality takes the second, the back seat. So I would just advise that for now, they leave it at the draw and not go into carrying the tournament itself outside, because that would be denying the actual audience, which is the African continent, access to the tournament, because we can't travel there because of TV rights and the rest, and the distance and other things. You might now be denying the African continent the access to their own tournament. But if it is the draw for now, then I think we can leave it at that stage. That's fine and manageable from my own view. Thank you.
All right, over to you, Godwin.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Desiree, I really doubt if you got that question, but moving on very quickly, we shall be looking at some of the transfer windows and gist that we have for you. And Comrade Soko and also Mr. Raphael, I would be coming to you now. And then one of which is this. It says, it was foolish, ex-Premier League star says Chelsea will regret not signing Osimhen. Who is a Chelsea fan amongst them? Comrade Soko.
But let's start from Raphael.
Okay, Mr. Raf, I think you will be in the best position to answer this. Looking at it from the Arsenal angle, is there anything for Chelsea to regret with not signing Osimhen?
I'm happy that you threw this question to me. First and foremost, I want to say if I had known Dr. Izu was going to join this Zoom, I would have won bulletproof, because the guy is just shooting shots anyhow. I'm a straight bullet, no go catch person. Okay. I don't think I have a problem with some of these young coaches. I have a problem with some of these young coaches, Arteta, Maresca, Amorim, or what have you. They have a mindset of their own, and when things are not going well, you would think that maybe they would tweak these things to see how it will work. But it's like when they face that road, like we say in our local balance, everywhere benefits, we just keep going there. Now, just like Chelsea, like Arsenal, are having issues with attacking prowess at the moment. Whoever it is that said Chelsea will regret not signing a striker, signing Osimhen, I think I don't want to narrow it down to Osimhen, because we have seen cases of players who came to Chelsea and never really pulled through. The only striker that came to Chelsea and really pulled through that we keep singing his praise every now and then was DJ Drogba. Before DJ Drogba, we had some other people that have tried Zola, Florian Flo, the Gospel and what have you. And then we have people who came like Crespo, Shevchenko, and even Diego Costa and the likes. And when you now have someone like a Jackson, who is the one in front, and people like Palmer are the ones doing the job for him, even setting him up with an open net, and Jackson still finds a way to play it around the net. We hear people begin to suggest different players, most especially Victor Osimhen, who is in the market for the team. So I'm going to say it may not be a case of maybe they will regret because they did not sign Osimhen in particular, but maybe they should have been, like in the case of Arsenal, like I said, have a striker, a proven striker that can take the load of the work away from Palmer, because Palmer is not an attacker. The same way Havertz is struggling in Arsenal, Palmer is not an attacker. He gives his all, but he needs that person in front to do the finishing. Do you understand me? And who now says that if Osimhen comes to English league, he will perform? He has not tested the English waters. So we cannot say if he comes to Chelsea, he will perform. So I don't want us to just say because maybe he's a Nigerian, he will just come into the Premiership and then boom, he's working. And I want to also very quickly chip in the under-17 issue of they've done their job. Like I said, Dr. Ezu was just firing shot, not checking if people are wearing bulletproof. They've done their job, which is the work. And now we're doing the calculator and the prayers. Now, the calculator and the prayer comes in because before the tournament was just 12 teams. Do you understand me? 12 teams representing each of the regions, the West, North, and the South thereabouts. I've forgotten how to do the calculations. But now, we are thinking of expanding it, I think, to 16 or 24. So Nigerians were hoping that because Nigeria came third in the regional tournament, we are going to qualify automatically, and then CAF is coming to say no, that maybe they are going to still stick to their 12 or what have you. And like Dr. Ezu says, maybe all this is boiling down to money. And that's why we're now going to Qatar to go and host a draw that we just had for the Nations Cup in Marrakesh, Morocco, which doesn't make any sense to the common man. Something you can do. And like Dr. Ezu said, I hope they don't take this thing into the next level of taking the tournaments
Final
to
games.
who says they will not take it. Spain has done it with Barca and Madrid. Italy has done it. Who knows? Africa is the next. But what I want to say is this: the fact that you are not Chelsea is not taking Osimhen doesn't mean they would suffer for it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Mr. Raff there. Comrade Soko, you clearly heard what Mr. Raff said. He said the likes of Osimhen have not tested the English waters yet. And that is, for me, a very big one. And yet we're looking at the same headline that says Chelsea would regret not signing Osimhen. Chelsea is an English club. Osimhen have not tested the English waters. What then does this have for him? You now, I need you to answer as a Chelsea fan. Do you think?
Yeah, also noting that since he hasn't tested the English water, but he has the potentials to function as the one-time striker in the person of Didier Drogba. He has pace, he has power, he has technical ability and finishing.
I agree.
He has all of the things to fill into the shoes of Didier Drogba.
Yeah, so comrade.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very, very much. The reason why we are debating about this, our striking role position in Chelsea Football Club is due to the lack of consistency by our renowned Nicola Jackson. He has been terrible, and even neutrals can see it that this guy is not fit. That's why we are debating about getting a new striker and all that. But for me, I would want to say that I'm not actually happy with the tactics. In as much as Chelsea needs a striker, I'm not actually happy with the tactics that Napoli is playing, their role in all this. And this is actually driving potential bidders for that player. Because, for instance, Galatasaray offered to make his deal permanent, and they offered 65 million euros. But no, Napoli is saying that it must be 75 million. Some other part of the board is saying that they need 113 million euros for Osimhen, which is quite expensive. English Premier League clubs like Chelsea and other clubs need to stick to this financial fair play and all that. So I would want to say, with the position we are as a club, we are not, our manager has come out to say that, okay, we have a plan. We are not actually going for the title. We have like a 3 years plan. And I think that the board has come to agree with him. So within that 3 years time frame, I believe that we might get a better striker that is less expensive. That's what I believe in. So I want to just chip in on this issue of taking our tournament to Doha. Okay. What I would want to contribute briefly, I think Dr. Izo has said all that has to be said for that. We need to understand that we're already taking an entire tournament to that continent, to the Arabs. The 2034 World Cup is going to be held exclusively in Saudi Arabia. So, and it boils down to, as Dr. Edeshiri said, it boils down to money. But I totally disagree with what Mr. Bolo has said, that Africans like to just waste resources. That comment did not sit right with me, because I don't like a situation where we continue to denigrate our country and denigrate our continent. We are not setting the precedent for this. Europe, they are doing it. European football are doing it. And we should understand that it is not just football. When it comes to boxing, the boxing heavyweight championship as Saudi Arabia has become the home base for any boxing tournament when it comes to the heavyweight category. Yeah. I cannot even remember the last time that a boxing tournament was held in Europe or in North America. It's always Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So it all boils down to money. It all boils, whether you are talking from the perspective of Mr. Buka talking about media rights, media partnership. The reason why you go into media rights or media partnership with these people is because they are the ones that can afford it. Let's not kid ourselves. So there's no way we are going to get to these issues. So thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka.
All right, comrade, before we let you go, still on Osimhen's case. In a couple of months' time from now, Osimhen's contract with Napoli will elapse, will expire. So do you think Chelsea is playing their cards well, trying to delay until when the contract expires? Because, if his contract expires, Osimhen may likely not want to renew his contract, and that makes him a free agent. So Chelsea is now looking towards that angle when the transfer fees and everything.
When we get it for free.
Yeah, when you get it exactly for free when he's a free agent. Do you think that is the case?
Okay, it's possible, because as I said earlier, clubs are actually looking for cheaper options. The reason why Chelsea went into a bid for Garnacho is because he was an homegrown player, and they actually thought that they were going to get him for almost free. That was the reason they actually went in for him. So probably that is the case for Victor Osimhen. But what I would want to add is that Napoli and their management is not making the transfer for Osimhen easy, because over this transfer window, clubs PSG went in for him, but they couldn't sign him. Galatasaray offered to make his deal permanent. They couldn't sign him. So for me as a Chelsea fan, I've actually given up hope totally to zero of signing Victor Osimhen. And I don't think that as a Chelsea fan, we are going to have regrets, because I believe that in the future, we are going to have better options. Thank you very much, Mr.
All right, thank you. So before I come back to the studio here, I'd like to get your final overview, Dr. Edeshiri, on the transfer gist all over. January transfer window has closed, and so I want to have Dr. Edeshiri. I don't know if you're with me. I want to have your overview of all that has happened or transpired within this period of the January transfer.
As a physician, one of the things we do is to plan. And so there are things you plan for. There are also unforeseen events. And just like nature, the sporting world gave January as an opportunity to correct either unforeseen events that we didn't plan for in August, like injuries or other things, loss of form, unpredicted, and the rest of them. But starting with the Osimhen issue, it is I think it's simplistic to narrow this Osimhen issue to just this January. The Osimhen issue should have been tackled more aggressively in August by 2 or 3 clubs, especially. 1, Arsenal. 2, Chelsea. 3, Manchester United. So the fact that they are leaving it to January is already in itself another mistake. Do you know that? And I agree with that person that said Chelsea made a foolish mistake. It's correct. Do you know Chelsea is the only club in the whole world that has more goalkeepers than strikers? As at the last count, Chelsea had like 6 goalkeepers. In fact, Chelsea can play a full 5 aside with only goalkeepers. But they can't do it with striker.
Doctor,
They will even still have bench.
wetin be
They will,
this?
they will play
Doctor,
5
wetin
aside
be
with only
this?
goalkeepers.
Wetin be this?
Yes?
Comrade Soko, we need to
No.
need to look for this doctor and do something about his case.
So Chelsea can play 5 aside with goalkeepers and still have a reserve bench of a goalkeeper, but they can't do so for attacking players. So the issue of Comrade was saying financial way without and the rest. No, you did not need to go and buy João Felix, who you already signed before, who didn't light up the world. You now went to buy him permanently. On what ground? You sold Sterling and brought Felix. To what end? So, and I said it the last time I was here, if you remember, I made it very clear that the reason I was going for Man City to beat Chelsea, despite Man City's loss of form, was purely because of an entertainer called Jackson, who is not a finisher. So you have such things, you go all out, you break the bank, sit down. Soko is talking of 65 and 75. It's just 10 million. What's 10 million for a club like Chelsea? Sell all those dead weights you have. They have like 55 defenders, 45 midfielders, 2 strikers. Remove those dead weights.
Bullet fire.
Sell them for cheaper.
Doctor, as you are walking this morning, watch your back.
Bullet fire.
Doctor, that's serious. As you are walking this morning, watch your back.
So what I'm saying
Comrade
is,
Soko, please, we need you.
It was, in like the lead question said, it was a foolish mistake, not just for even just Osimhen, but the squad planning. If you are calling the top 5 or top 6 centre backs in the whole EPL, watch now. At the end of the season, you will see how many Chelsea players will enter the team of the season. You may never, maybe only Kopama, maybe. You cannot pick any exceptional player in that defense, knowing they have a transgender goalkeeper. He's a man anyway, but it's a woman inside. You understand? Because his hands are made of glass. So you need real defenders to back them. They don't have. This is why you could have corrected it. Who do you have in Chelsea defense? Tottenham and Arabiu. You have Disasi, who they've sold, who they've given to Aston Villa now, and some other players that even some Chelsea fans can't name because they are strange. So at this point, it was a big mistake, and that brings to my very beloved Arsenal. Very beloved Arsenal. I love them with all my heart.
Stop it,
You know?
Stop it, to continue where you are.
The truth is, Arsenal. And that's why Arsenal will end this season trophyless. If they win a trophy this season, I will never come on your show again. Never. Hey. I'm that confident. I don't want to. Hey. So because you cannot keep reinforcing that mistake. Now, not only did they never sign a striker, they did not sign anybody at all. And don't forget that Gabriel Jesus got injured long before the close of the market. So you had time to get somebody else, at least to provide competition, to provide support, so that you can freshen up your players.
Yeah.
But they didn't buy. Not forgetting that Havertz is I don't know. You know, there's this in biology, there's this thing called euglena that is both a plant and an animal. Yeah, an animal, we don't know if Havertz is actually a footballer or I don't know. He has the start.
Comrade Soko, are you the one that off this series mic? Comrade Soko, now you off mic.
Yeah. I'm off my mode.
Nami off Nami.
The problem with Arsenal is that they spent 100 million on Rice, whereas and they go and spend 65 million on Havertz. The fact that Chelsea, your top 4 contender, is willing to sell a player to you alone is a red flag that don't buy. Because if he was good, they won't sell him to you. So for Chelsea to happily give you Havertz already shows you it's iron condemned. It's iron condemned, don't buy. But they went to buy it and they have sustained that joke for a while. Why can't they not buy Osimhen, for example? You have Osimhen on the market, they didn't even bid for anybody. Now look at their defense. Once they also come and manufacture new excuse now that they don't have a right back. Who stopped you from buying a right back? You sold Bellerin. You didn't replace him. You were waiting for Ben White. Ben White got injured early enough. Instead of buying a right back for emergency cover, you are now playing almost your best defensive midfielder. That's this Ghanaian, Thomas Partey.
Partey.
So now you are playing Partey in the right back. So what happens to the midfield when he's not an out-and-out right back? So it's not just made the mess of this, but in all, I must commend PSG. PSG quietly went about their business. They got Kvaratskhelia from Napoli at a very cheap price. Getting him at 60 million for me is the deal of the entire January
window.
transfer market. They also offloaded Marco Asensio to Aston Villa, who was also doing nothing. But I must also say that Aston Villa did some good business by getting Rashford, who is known in the league, and now see how God blesses people. After leaving Man U, he's now in the Champions League, while Man U is in the Europa.
Yeah.
God has promoted him. So let us see whether that will give extra motivation to prove Man U, Ten Hag, and Amorim wrong. But overall, it's what we always see. The financial fair play has made some people now stop spending recklessly, but it's also why we as people and as clubs should be forward thinking, should plan for every available eventuality. You don't know what can happen in the middle of the season. If Arsenal now gets just one more injury, they may even be out of the top 4 because they will not have a buffer. Saka was injured. Instead of buying somebody, you are relying on Ita Nwaneri, who is a small boy. I don't know if he has finished SS3 You understand? So he might be reading for his GC and you say come and score for you. Now we have seen what happened yesterday. I'm sure we'll get there anyway. So let me not jump the gun because we are coming for that one. All right, thank you.
I know, Raphael, you're itching to say something,
doctor,
because
doctor, as they were this morning, they watch your
let me say this.
Talking about Havertz.
I want you people.
Okay.
I want you people. I said nobody informed us that was coming and would have won bulletproof. You for allowing him now. I'm drinking water and the water is pouring on the floor. All over my body. Now, the thing about this whole thing is he's very, very correct. We may want to look at it from yes, maybe it feels like banter, but just yesterday Arsenal played Newcastle and lost. And it felt like the Arsenal team was playing against itself yesterday. And before his stage, I probably see Martinelli was off with hamstring injury. Now, which means you are shot by another player entirely again. So that's why I said I have a problem with these young coaches who are very stubborn and adamant in doing the right things. Even when people who have seen these things tell them this is how it should be done, they keep telling you they want to go the other way. The only place I don't agree with him is that Rafael's part too. Me no fight too.
All right, Bolu.
All right, thank you very much. On a lighter note, in case Arsenal wants to unlock Havertz, maybe they should probably just get Ben Chilwell during the summer transfer, and I think that would be a very wonderful addition to their squad. But born in Madeira, a star took a flight, a boy with dreams, burning bright, from Sporting's field to England's ground. A future king was quickly found, a red devil, young, so bold, so fast. United knew his skills would last. With golden feet and hunger grand, he conquered England's mighty hand. To Madrid, he soared with grace, scoring goals at record pace. 450 times he would score. A legend built forevermore. In Europe's grand nights, he ruled the Champions League at night with 5 Ballon d'Or on his hand. The best among the best of his generation. We are talking about the man of the moment who just clocked 40, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Happy birthday, CR7.
Happy birthday from all of us at ACNNTV. We are giving you a very big happy birthday. And it's been wonderful. Ever since he clocked 30, he has scored over 400 goals. Over 400 goals ever since he turned 30. And at 40, he's still playing. He's still playing.
Let's expect 500 goals at 40.
Apparently, I believe the target is 1,000 goals.
Wow.
1,000
Beautiful.
professional goals.
Beautiful.
Because as it stands now, he's still ahead of every other person behind him. But I won't be the one to tell you that the man from Argentina is still also right behind him. Still trailing, not just behind, still trailing behind him. But then, let me just quickly, in less than 60 seconds, Comrade Soko, Mr. Rafiki, and Dr. Desiri, in that order, your thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo at 40. Comrade Soko, 60 seconds.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. I actually saw a report that if you start your football career at 18 and you score 40 goals over, I think, 20-year period every season, you will end up at 800 goals. And right now, Cristiano Ronaldo has 923 goals in his career. So I would say that for me personally, there's always this comparison between Ronaldo and Messi. For me, I don't know if I've said it in this show before. Cristiano Ronaldo is my GOAT. I believe that if you want to talk about personal achievements, personal awards, I believe that Messi must have surpassed him in some of these personal achievements. But when it comes to looking at a player that has complete discipline, complete professionalism, complete love for the game, Cristiano Ronaldo is someone that I believe that to be an example to all upcoming footballers. And I still have the view that the reason why Mason Greenwood did not succeed in Manchester United was that he was beginning to raise shoulders with Cristiano Ronaldo. This is someone you are supposed to learn from, not someone that you are supposed to be competing with. So I believe that young footballers are supposed to take with Cristiano Ronaldo as their idol. Even people in business are supposed to take Cristiano Ronaldo as their idol.
All right, Comrade Soko, thank you very much. Comrade Soko, thank you very much. Let's have Mr. Rafiki. In less than 60 seconds, your thought on Cristiano Ronaldo at 40.
I totally agree with Comrade Soko on the goat parts. You see that goat part? If you like, call it my Leia Malu, is my goat, the goat of all goats. Do you understand me? He came out and said something like he's the most complete footballer on earth, and then some people were arguing. I can come and tell you I'm the best player in the world. You can argue all you want. That is what I believe I am. So he believed that that's who he is, and he told the world. Have you ever heard Zlatan speak about himself when he speaks? Zlatan doesn't care who you are. Do you understand me? And then people are beginning to complain that he said he's the most complete. He scores with the head, scores with the both feet. He scores with even the... And he's one of those players who they had to use measuring tape to measure the height of one of his bicycle kick. And then even some headers because the leap was too much. And then you find a 40-year-old man looking sharp and carved like, what would I call it? And like Komosuke said, you can never catch him unprepared. Patrice Evra once said, I went to his house on the weekend to go and enjoy the weekend with him. And I found him on the treadmill. That was where he ended up till he left the house, that he's never going back to his house again. Anything that has to do with weekend to his house, that he's never going there. He's the first to come to the training 1 hour and he's the last to leave after 1 hour. That's to tell you the kind of seriousness this guy puts. And if you check his body, if you find any tattoo on his body, I'll pay for that. I'll pay for that tattoo. Check his body and see if you find any inscription on it. And that's because this man says he needs to be very healthy. And I think he also contributes or donates blood or something like that. I can't really say exactly, but you will never find a pinch of a tattoo on his body. Congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo. Now 20 goals, still counting, and happy birthday to him.
Thank you very much. Just in 30 seconds, Dr. Desiri, the reason I'm giving you 30 seconds is because you've thrown no subs, slanders, and everything at my club. So 30 seconds to celebrate Ronaldo at 40. Dr. Desiri, are you there?
Anyway, thank you so much. We may disagree on who is the GOAT. Some say it's Messi, some say it's Ronaldo, some say it's Pele. But there's something everybody must agree, which is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo is in that conversation. Cristiano Ronaldo is the ideal professional. Cristiano Ronaldo, like Comrade Soko said, is somebody that beyond football or sports, everybody should look towards emulating. As rich as he is, Cristiano Ronaldo is now a YouTuber. He's now selling perfume. He's diversifying. So with the way he's going, even when he's old, he wouldn't need us to raise money for him. He will not come and open GoFundMe that he wants
I'll
to
be
do for.
live.
So what Comrade Soko was saying is very valid. And to have, I'm saying it's not from a point of bias because it's my favorite, even in the messy discussion. But I'm trying to bring it to the fore. As human beings, these are people we should emulate. In a world where you hear people for scandals and the rest of them, you hardly hear Ronaldo's name in all those things. He's a businessman, purely business, professional. Like Rafiki said, he doesn't do tattoos so that he can donate blood. Because in some countries, having a tattoo disqualifies you from donating blood. You will not see. The other day he was in the World Cup, he shoved away Coca-Cola. He said it's not good for you, it's water. And that thing, that singular action reduced Coca-Cola shares, which you can fact check it. So his influence cannot be underestimated. As soon as Ronaldo went to the Saudi League, even though some people and the others who went there, you could see the difference between when Ronaldo went and the quality of players that now went. I don't think Benzema will go to Saudi if Ronaldo had not gone earlier. So Ronaldo was like John the Baptist that went to open the way. So the influence of Ronaldo cannot be underestimated. His professionalism is something that we all should emulate in our endeavors. So I will say happy birthday to Cristiano Ronaldo, and we hope he continues up to 45 because he can do it the way he's going. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Desiree. I gave you 30 seconds, but the fact that you're also, you're also on the same page as it regards to who is the greatest of all time in the, in the sport called soccer. I think. Thank you very much for that one there. And while we just try to to round up the show for today, let's take a look at the weekend fixtures.
Yeah. So we're looking at the Premier League now as it stands after Man City lost to Arsenal over the previous weekend. Liverpool now stands 6 points clear of Arsenal, and it looks like Arsenal is
with
still
a game in hand.
Yes, Liverpool now still have a game in hand. So we look forward to having an exciting time this weekend. We want to look at the overview, but time is fast against us. So thank you, Comrade Abraham Soko. Thank you, Mr. Raphael. Thank you, Dr. Edesiri Izu. Thank you all for being on the show today. We'll get your views on the subsequent show. And my co-anchors, thank you so much for making it to be on the show today. It's been wonderful.
For me, sincerely, I lost track of time. I never knew.
All right. So and our directors and everyone behind the desk will say thank you for making today a success. And viewers, till we come your way again next time, we want to say remain blessed.